everybody? It's your girl E Shark of E Shark TV, where I give you the real deal on everything reality. And what's real right now is my need to increase these Facebook likes, okay? I put out a video that explains the whole campaign, so I'm not going to take too long to talk about it right now, but basically, we're trying to get these likes up, okay? It's at 43 right now. No bueno, because I have so many more people that watch the videos and that comment with me on Twitter, and so I want to get everybody involved. So how it's going to work, really quick and simple. You follow me on Twitter, you like the Facebook page, and what's in it for you, I'll tell you. What's in it for you is any project you have going on. I have a lot of friends out there that are into music, jewelry, fashion, your blog, your videos. Once you like these two things, you leave me a tweet or something on my Facebook wall, and I shout it out in the next video. So we get a chance to help each other. I have a lot of viewers that watch and that enjoy the blogs, and they'll have a chance to see what you have to offer as well. So it's a win-win situation, as I like to call it. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty. You guys may notice that the scenery is different this time. Yes, we are in the most exotic place ever, in a remote location called my bathroom, because I have some new next door neighbors moving into the apartment that are moving around midnight that keep on slamming the door, and you know, you can hear conversation and all that jazz. So since this is the furthest place in the apartment, it's the best place for me to record, and I don't want to wait till the morning because this stuff is just too juicy. I have to talk about it now. So, hey, you have to adapt, you have to change. That's what we're doing right now. So, let's get into it. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've already watched the episode, or if you are some of my direct TV dolls, that's okay, because I will try to give you the tea bit by bit so it feels like you're not off, okay? It started off with Stevie J coming to a photo shoot that Joseline had going on, and basically he wanted to check her about the whole Mimi situation. Now, to recap from the last episode, Mimi told him that Joseline was sending him texts talking about how she was going to F her up and threatening her and to put her in line. So this was Stevie J's attempt to put her in line. But what ended up happening is Miss Joseline got some cojones, because she was like, no, Stevie, it don't go down like that, okay? She's a bitch. I don't like her. She's a bitch. I don't care. She's a bitch. Like, she said she's a bitch, like, so many times. It was hilarious. Excuse my French, but I can't circumvent that. You know what I mean? I have to give it to you just like how it came out. That's how Joseline felt about it. And she was just like, you're not going to be with me and say that I'm supposed to be your girl now, which it seems like, but then come and check me about Mimi. So Stevie goes off in his rant and his temper tantrum, and he's like, oh, well, you committing career suicide, and he tells the photographer, you know what, that ain't really what you want, this is not who you want to work with, and all this other jiggity jazz, and makes a scene. And when he walks off stage left, the photographer was like, don't worry about that, baby, people don't know a good thing until the world sees it, just pose, this is fashion. I don't know how much of fashion that was per se, but I was happy to see Joseline with a backbone. It's weird. As the episodes increase and increase, strangely, I am beginning to like Joseline more and more. And I'm not quite sure what's going on here, whether it might be some subliminal messages and that little dance hit that she made. But I'm starting to like her because she gives it to you raw. No matter whether you like it or not, that's the way that she's going to give it to you. And I'm a big fan of that. So what more can I say? You know, I think Stevie got the point from that. And Joseline, it seems like she has her own little things planned, because I don't want to skip ahead too much, but what the heck, I'm going to do it anyway. Joseline sits with her friends. And one thing that I noticed about a lot of her friends is they always had that blank stare. First, when she was talking with the dude, he was like, oh, you pregnant? Oh no. Like, I'm like, what? And now this girl, Joseline, is talking to her, I think her name is Queen, telling her that, you know, she's talking to other producers and she's going to do her own thing. And she's like, you went behind his back. You went behind his back. Oh, girl. You went behind his back. Like, Mona Scott just now did a whole little interview with Sway about how this stuff wasn't scripted, but if she's not writing it, they're writing it for themselves, because she was so extra. And I'm like, come on now, girl, that's what she said. You said it for the 5th time. Like, she went behind his back, not around, not under, not over. She went behind it, okay? We got the point. Move on to the next scene. But whatever, whatever. That was it with that. Then we have Momma Dee, and Momma Dee decides that she wants to call Buckey for lunch for no other reason but to let her know that she's the queen and she's not giving up her throne. End scene. But yeah, she like calls her in and she's like, hey, you know, I wanted to meet you to come out and talk to you and see what's up. And basically it was to have a trash fest on Erica. And to me, I'm starting to realize that Scrappy acts the way that he acts because that's how his mom raised him to be, a big old baby. That's what it boils down to. Like, you can't be putting paws on people, Scooby-Doo, and rapping out here like you hard in these streets when you a big old mama's boy. That just does not add up to me, you know. And Momma Dee is as fake as they come because she makes me laugh in that order, you know, especially with her sayings and everything. But she's a little bit too extra. Like, you always down for people when they with Scrappy. And I'm not expecting her to love these people because she don't owe her no loyalty, but you're always down with them and they okay until they ain't with Scrappy and you talk about them like dirt. Because I never heard her talk about Donnie when they was together, but then she talk about like dirt. Now Erica talking like dirt. And your son is the one that's real shysty because he's just not keeping it real. He's making it seem like, oh, I just need some time to get my head together. And when I get my head together, I'll come back. He's getting his head together all right. Bucky's taking care of that part, if you get my drift. Like, come on now. Be real with your baby moms, as you say. That's baby moms. Give it to her real and stop with the drama. But I'm happy that Erica seems to know what's going on. You know, she's not as dumb as Mimi. Mimi is just in the dark, happy with being in the dark, and, you know, this therapy is going to solve everything. She feels some type of, you know, like justice by going to therapy. Please, that's what I'm saying. Please, with that, okay? You can keep your therapy, you can keep everything that's going on, because Stevie gonna be Stevie, and either you need to rock there and sit there and accept it or leave. But this whole therapy thing, like something's gonna come out of it, come on now, you really fooling yourself. That's all I gotta say about that. So this episode, in my opinion, must have been, you know, titled meetups and sit down talks, because that's what everything was. Everybody was sitting down and meeting up to have a conversation about something. So next on the meetup agenda was Karlie Redd and Mimi, and those two sat down to discuss the whole situation with K. Michelle. And basically you can see Karlie Redd still mad because she feels like Mimi brought her there for a setup. She's like, you knew that K. Michelle wanted to fight and you still brought me there anyway. So I had a side conversation about this and was trying to see how people felt. And a lot of people were saying that they felt like Mimi was wrong, because if this is supposedly supposed to be your friend, you should give her a heads up. But then on the other end, what type of friend keeps on telling you things that are emotional and touchy in front of everybody? You know what I mean? That doesn't sound like a good friend to me in the first place. That every chance we get, instead of you pulling me to the side and being like, Erica, I have something to tell you about your man, you sit and tell everybody at the table. Like, you just serving the tea. Like, what restaurant you work at? Stop it. Like, it's just ridiculous. So I, on one hand, feel like Mimi was wrong for it, but then on the other hand, considering they both are really not friends, no, she's not. Because there was a satisfaction on Karlie Redd's face, like, oh, well, so that means I was right? You know, because Mimi mentioned, I don't know if you know, but he got Joseline pregnant. And Karlie was reveling in it. And if I'm your friend, even if you didn't believe me, I'm not going to find enjoyment from the fact that you're going through something. I don't really think those two are good friends at all. So when it comes to who's wrong or right, I really think it's trivial. Because at the end of the day, if you're not my friend, I guess I don't owe you anything anyway, you know. Speaking of Karlie Redd, so Karlie Redd and K. Michelle meet up again, and once again, these females have a big problem with the bumping of the gums, or what they gonna do when every time I see you, I'm gonna jump on you. When stop saying things when you're mad, because when you don't do it, it really does make you foolish, like you're just talking a whole bunch of stuff and that's it. I'm not saying that you have to fight, but don't mention that you are gonna fight and then we see you in the next scene and you all calm, like, look, I'm an adult for this. Because when she was someplace where you couldn't get to her, you had everything in the world to say, and now that y'all sitting next to each other, you want to be adult about it. Like, pick which one you want to be. Either be a mature adult when the situation is happening, or do what you say you're going to do, because it really makes you look fraudulent. That's the word of the day, fraudulent. But basically she met up with her. Now I will say K Michelle was being a little childish, because you could tell she just wasn't a fan of it. She was like, I looked you up and the only thing that came up was vinegar, a brand of vinegar. Like, she was really like giving it to her, still serving the jokes, and you can tell that Karlie was, I guess, trying to be quote unquote mature about it. But K Michelle was like, I don't like you, I'm never gonna like you, and every time I see you, I'm gonna crack on you. I guess it's gonna be an episode of the dozens when you come around, because that's all I'm gonna use you for, is a punchline to my jokes. So on that note, her exit was, I like your pink dress, and I hashtag that tonight as things that K Michelle says, because she says the most random things. I do think she has to screw loose, but I love her and live for her jokes on that show. So I hope that she does not go anywhere. Now, since I'm going on this whole Karlie Redd stream, I do want to get into a little bit more of this whole Karlie Redd and Benzino thing. 1 minute she's talking to Aaron Reed, Ellie Reed's son, and the next minute she's not. Now she's talking to Benzino. I really want to know how long this show is, because this is a lot of things happening in a quick amount of time. And she's telling Benzino, well, he asked, well, why didn't your last relationship work out? And he was like, well, he wasn't really supportive of my career and this, that, and the third. That's code word for he didn't introduce you to his father. He didn't break his back to do anything for you. Like, you should do that for yourself. If you're in a relationship to talk to somebody, are you with them for the connections, or are you with them because you like them? Clearly, in Karlie Redd's case, you're with them because of the connections, and when he wasn't tricking off or doing what you wanted him to do for your career, you left. And frankly, if that was the case, I give Aaron Reed a round of applause for not tricking, because they say it ain't tricking if you got it, but I say it's not smart if you do. Okay, like, leave that alone. Let her go swing somewhere else with Benzino and get that popping off, because they just a big old mess to me. He's about to meet her family and all this stuff. How long did y'all know each other? 2 days? Like, Mona, I really want to know how long this show is, because there's a lot of stuff going on in a small amount of time, and they are the things that make you go, So, meanwhile, on the other side of Hotlanta, on a peach tree somewhere, no miss out, we have Scrappy going over to Erica's house to get the rest of his things. Now, he goes over there with this whole spiel about how he's trying to clear his head, and hopefully when things are straight in his head, she'll take him back, which I really hope that Erica sticks to that whole, I'm not taking you back, I see how you are, you just come around when things are down. Because we've only been watching this show for, what, 6 episodes, and a stranger can see that's exactly what he's doing. He's just coming back around when he has no other place to go. So I'm glad she's not as dumb as Mimi, and she's recognizing that, and she's just like, I have to do for me and my child. But the thing that really flipped me out is this Negroid had the nerve, you know what I mean? The nerve to talk about, you gonna still look out for me with that child support? Like, where do you come from with that? You know what I mean? And I think what Erica asked for, in my opinion, was very reasonable. Our child has an account. You can see the account. You can see, you know, if I'm pulling out things that I'm not supposed to be pulling out and whatnot. Put something up for her. I was seeing media take out articles about how Scrappy been at this strip club, and I guess I can't use them because they're not the most credible source, but you see a lot of pictures of him and other rappers at the strip club, and the way that I feel is if you can drop a rack on a stripper, then you should be able to drop a rack on your daughter. And that's really sad that you like, I haven't gotten around to it yet, but you've gotten around to the club, you've gotten around to bottle service, you've gotten around to Buckey, you've gotten around to your Mimi house, you've gotten around to all these other places, but you have not gotten around to your child. Like, somebody needs to put pause on you. Put pause on yourself. Pour yourself, okay? That's my new phrase. Because what you're doing is ridiculous, and you need to put your child first, honestly. I don't know what type of father he is. I'm not there, but I do know that's some real tacky stuff to be going out here, going out there, and not taking care of home and your child. So I agree with Erica. No, you don't need to be off of child support, because if you didn't get around to it, then you need the government to schedule that for you and help you. Since you're doing it on your own, you're no good at, okay? I'm really... That, I don't have nothing to say. He just really disgusted me with that. And then another thing that made me go, things that make you go, moments, yes, I had another one, was when I see him taking the furniture out. Erica home looked really, really bare. And I'm usually a proponent of what's yours is yours, what's mine is mine, or, you know, let's split this down the middle. But this is where your child lives. And even if I was to leave a home where my child lives, I would want to leave the furniture there and just be like, you know what, I'll build back up. I'll rent-a-center it or go without until I build back up. But let me let my child have a furnished home. I mean, I don't think the child is going to starve or her grades are going to go bad for no couch. But it still seems a little tacky to be taking everything out the house. This is a house where your child stays. Maybe she wants, you know, a couch in the living room, someplace to watch TV, not to be in the bed. Like, you just take all of that. You ain't paying for your child, and then on top of that, you take furniture out the home. He's just looking really tacky now. Like, his points with me are going severely down. They started like right here, and then they just have been on a kamikaze free fall down because he's coming off really just tacky and as a deadbeat dad. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's the case, but that's the way he's coming off, and I just read it like I see it, okay? Once again, this episode has been meetups and more meetups. That was the title. Because everybody just kept on meeting up, like I said. The next meetup on deck was K. Michelle and Rashida, and she was talking to her about the whole situation with her husband. Now, this is one that I do, you know, kind of comes close to home for me because me and my husband have a really big business relationship and we work together. But what we're learning is that we do have to separate things. We have to stay focused, and we have to realize that business is business and home is home. Not everybody can do that. And Rashida and Kirk are two that can't. They've had a long run. Like he said, he's been there from the beginning for her, and she's made a name for herself. A lot of people may not know her in other areas, but down south she's really popping. She's what's up. A lot of people know her. I was a big fan of a lot of her songs. I'm not that crazy over the Marry Me joint, but I'm still a fan of hers. I like her. And you know, its time is run. You know, the time is run out. It's not really working for them, and I do understand her wanting to find different management. But I do agree with Kirk. It was a little bit dirty how she did it, because now if your husband tries to be a manager for someone else, people are going to be like, oh, well, I seen you on Love and Hip Hop and you garbage. You couldn't get nothing popping for Rashida, so what makes you think you could get it popping for me? And this is something that may destroy his brand. You know, you're kind of taking respect from him out here in this industry when you go behind his back, you know, and see somebody else. That's like the pimp game, you know what I mean? Like, yo ho chose me. There's still a way to go about that, you know what I mean? You just completely discredit somebody and take a lot of clout from them when you do something like that. So I do think she should have talked to him first, let him know that either A, she wanted to go by herself, or B, this is something that she's thinking of, and yes, you can come with me, but I'm still thinking about this because I think it's best for the career and best for our personal life. There could have been a better way to handle that, because boy, oh boy, Kurt almost made me shed a tear when he was getting emotional, because you could really feel the struggle behind that. Like, he's been ride or die with her, and to have something like that happen, you know, it's kind of hurtful. So I wish them the best. They seem like a nice couple, and I hope it works out for them. Later on in the episode, this came toward the end of the episode, Mimi and Joseline met up, and I really think Joseline was genuine in her apology and trying to prove a point, but Mimi was not accepting it. And whether she accepts it or not, honestly, at this point, I'm over Mimi, because neither of them are victims. Joseline knew what she was getting into. Mimi knew what she was getting into. This has been going on for a long time, and they keep on putting the blame on Joseline. Joseline is not your problem. She does not owe you any loyalty. Your problem is your husband. Or excuse me, not your husband, but your 14-year baby father. Like, that's your problem. If Joseline wasn't in the picture, it would be somebody else, okay? You can't keep on picking a fight with all these girls that are with your man, because at the end of the day, your problems lie with your man. Hash that out with him. You talking with him as if Joseline is the problem, and y'all can't talk until he stopped talking to Joseline. Why? So you can talk to Karlie Redd? Or so you can talk to someone else? Because that's all that's going to end up happening. Focus on what's really the cause, okay? Focus on what's really the cause. Focus on what's really the problem. And get off of Joseline. Because honestly, to me, I'm starting to feel Joseline. I don't have nothing to do with this. You know, this is what Stevie tells me. I'm sure that's what Stevie tells you. And at the end of the day, I really do believe that he tell her, hey, me and you together, that's just baby moms. And go back and tell her, hey, that's just somebody I work with. And if either of y'all want to believe that, then that's on y'all. I don't have no sympathy for Joseline. I definitely don't have no sympathy for Mimi, because unlike Joseline, she's been in this for years on years on years. Okay? Dealing with this. So don't think because you got a VH1 show now and you busting tears that I'm going to be, you know, on your side or be like, oh man, I'm so sorry for her. Call me rough, call me cold, I'm sorry. That's just me. Overall, I enjoyed the episode. I'm really excited for next week to see what happens with Kirk and Rashida, and just to see where things go with the whole K. Michelle situation too. I really would like to see some more of her, because I feel like she's the star of the show. She is so funny. This show comes on at Mondays, 8 o'clock, and it usually repeats constantly. So for all you DirecTV people, I'm so sorry if you have not seen it. Check it out. Also, I want to take the time to thank all of my international viewers. I never knew I had so much. And I was going through my numbers this week, and I've seen so many things from Germany and Japan and Austria. Well, same difference. So many things out there, and I just want to thank you so much. I never knew that I reached out that far, and if there's anything that I can do to make these videos more enjoyable for you, please let me know. I'm looking into getting that whole Google Translate thing app on the web page, and I'm also going to try to do some subtitles for some of my hearing impaired viewers. This way you guys can be in the mix. So if there's anything that I can do to make these videos better for you, leave a comment, or you can email me at ericashark@esharktv.com. ericashark@esharktv.com, because at the end of the day, I love the engagement with you guys, and whatever I can do to make this enjoyable for you, I'm here. Okay? It's been real. Once again, I'm E-Shark, and you know when you come here, you're always going to get the real deal on everything reality. I'm out.